Producers of the world-famous Vidalia onions have been in the sandy soil of a 20-county region getting ready for this year's harvest. We checked in with folks involved in the industry to get an idea of what consumers can expect this spring and summer. Like last year, weather will play a role in the yield and production timing of the sweet Vidalia onions from south central Georgia.
So the biggest challenge for this year has been our seed beds. We grow our own seed beds instead of using a greenhouse. We grow our little onion seedlings for about 6 to 8 weeks out in the field during the fall. And that was when we had a lot of rainfall and a lot of warm temperatures. And just like a tomato plant, you know, those plants need to be hardened off before we transplant them. We just didn't get we actually like a frost on our onions before we transplant them.
And because of the weather conditions from late fall and early winter, Reiner predicting a mixed results in the yields this spring.
But the stand loss due to those earlier fields that just had wet conditions when we were planting, you know, the stand loss is what it is. We can't replace those onions, and so they're going to be okay. We've had a lot of change in weather the past 2 or 3 weeks, and that's helped us. But going into the harvest season, I think we're going to be right on time. We've got a new packing date this year, and we're going to be, you know, plenty good volume by that time, and the stores shouldn't really miss any onions when we get to the season.
Researchers in and around Toombs County believe the next 4 to 6 weeks will determine a lot for this year's onion producers.
Price is going to be set in the next couple of weeks, and discussing with retailers and looking at how the onions change. We see a lot of change in the last 3 or 4 weeks right up to harvest, and that's kind of when those things occur. In terms of volume, I think that we're going to have a lot of onions to promote in stores, and so the retailers and the buyers shouldn't see much of a difference. It just makes it a hassle on the growing side for these farmers to try to make ends meet and put the right load to the right people.
And with over 12,000 acres of onions to be hand-picked, labor always a crucial issue.
We have to rely on H2A labor with the guest worker program. Migrant laborers were very popular 20 years ago, but pretty well non-existent now, and very unreliable to these producers. And we have to get 12,000 acres of our Vidalia onions out in about a 5-week period of time, and that's done with hand labor. And so the political side of it is very understandable, but we need a guest worker program for all the produce that we're growing around, especially Vidalia onions, and that won't change anytime soon because the jobs are very seasonal, and we need a lot of manpower. And we try to hire domestic workers now currently, as most of the growers do, and they will, but we still would have to rely on H2A or some form of a guest worker program.